Hello, Dr. Cari here. And the more I work in the female hormone space, the more men I'm seeing in my practice. It's just so funny to me. And the more I speak about female hormones, the more men are inquiring about their hormones. So I really am realizing that this area, men are just underserved. So I wanted to educate you a little bit about male hormones because it's so important. Because men, you guys aren't used to going to doctors. You don't go to gynecological exams once a year. And so you may not have anybody who's talking to you about this stuff, and you may just sit back and suffer. And when a man's hormones go out of balance, it really doesn't feel good. And it can lead to a whole host of psychological and physiological changes in the body. So let's look at what happens in a man's body. So this can happen at any phase for a man, but particularly as a man ages, what can start to happen is if the body is under stress, it starts to convert testosterone to estrogen or to DHT. Now, estrogen, as you know, is the hormone that makes a woman fertile, right? And it gives a woman all the curves that she has. So when men have higher levels of estrogen, what happens is no matter how much they work out, they still have this fleshiness on their body. Their pectoralis muscles also might get fleshy, and their nipples might protrude a little bit. Those are called moobs when they really develop. Not what you want, right? And it can really affect a man's how he feels and really make him just want to sit around and do nothing, right? Not good. Gain weight, sit on the sofa, clicking away. So if you're a man and you're noticing some of these changes as well as erectile function gets affected when you've got higher levels of estrogen, then you may be converting to estrogen. Now, the other thing a man's body can do is convert to DHT, and DHT is the more virulent form of testosterone. But when we have too much of it in our system, it causes premature balding, it causes hyperplasia of the prostate, it also might cause us to be more aggressive, right? And so we don't want these things happening because we are not going to feel our best when they are. However, when you go to a doctor and you say, "Oh, I've got these symptoms," and they test for testosterone and it comes back low, often that's when testosterone replacement is recommended. But no, 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 no. You got to do another test. You have to see if you are converting your testosterone to estrogen or DHT. Why? Because if you go on testosterone replacement, at first you'll feel great, and then eventually that conversion will increase and you will feel worse. And we don't want you to feel worse. We want you to feel better. So it's super important that if you don't just get testosterone checked, you also get those conversions checked as well. And this can be true of a man at any phase of life. If you start losing your hair really young, you might be converting to DHT. But it particularly starts to be more prevalent for men as they age. So again, men don't go through menopause, but men certainly can have hormonal shifts that affect how they feel. And this is a major player in this area. Now, if you, again, don't just jump to testosterone because you might feel good at first, but then eventually you're going to feel worse. So make sure that you get your estrogen and your DHT levels checked as well as your testosterone levels. And then you look at that whole picture and you see, am I really low in testosterone or am I converting? If you're converting, there are steps you can take to take care of that. That's the good news. So you can feel better without needing the testosterone replacement. And if you're truly low in testosterone, then you can also look around and see why that is, see what you can change in your health. Or if you decide to do testosterone replacement, then you won't be putting yourself in that dangerous situation of increasing estrogen and DHT levels because you'll take steps to make sure that doesn't happen. I hope this helps you so much. I really believe that men's hormonal health isn't discussed enough. And that's why, even though I've focused on women's health for years, I have been supporting men as well. So I am here if you want support, if you'd like to find out what's happening with your hormones at this phase of your life. Sending you so much love.